They said majority draw. They cheated Roach. Roach got robbed. A majority draw. They cheated Roach. They cheated Roach. Look at Jake. Everybody know they cheated him. Everybody know they cheated Roach. Everybody know they cheated Roach. Roach got robbed. And everybody knows it. And it was a 10-8 while they robbed him. They robbed Roach. Roach beat Tank. They robbed him. Rematch right away. They robbed him. And it was a knockdown 10-8.
Nah. Who you thought won? Lamont.
You thought Lamont won? By how many rounds?
I don't know.
You still want the Tank Davis fight?
So what?
You still want the Tank Davis fight? What went wrong? What went wrong? Take out a little steam or fire out of it, or is it still the same?
I mean, we're gonna see. I'm the best fighter in boxing. I've been saying this. So
Shakur, what went wrong for Gervonta in this fight? Is just because could we say maybe because Lamont didn't come in? They really.
I think he got overconfident. I think he was thinking Lamont wasn't that good. I told everybody how the fight was gonna go. The fight went exactly how I said. Exactly.
After seeing this performance from Gervonta, do you believe your confidence has gone a little bit more up?
My confidence been up. I've been knew I was the best.
It was a close fight.
I'm not surprised the way Lamont fought. I knew Lamont was going to come to fight. It was an opportunity of a lifetime. He did a good job. He fought a great fight.
What went wrong with Tank Davis? I mean, I
said what was wrong with him? Every night in boxing is not your best, you feel me? But at least you got the draw.
Would you like to see a rematch of this or jump into a fight with Shakur Stevenson?
They don't, whatever they want to do.
Did you think it was a draw?
I don't know. It was a good fight.
I mean, definitely an off night for Tank, but Lamont Roach is the guy, man. He showed up, and Tank gave him a tremendous amount of respect in the fight, and we saw why. I mean, he's a great counterpuncher. He's very high boxing IQ. He always says, I hit harder than people think. I hit harder than my record says. He stunned Tank several times. You know, Tank looked like the guy with the heavier hands, but Lamont had the better chin. So it's all relative, you know. So it doesn't, if Tank hits real hard, but the guy can take it, doesn't really matter. And I thought Roach was brilliant tonight. He had a good game plan, but those early rounds are what haunts him. He's gonna lay up at night, hit that. He wasn't a little more aggressive early on because early on there wasn't much going on. There was time for him to take places for him to steal those rounds. And obviously he didn't. I want to see what the official scorecard breakdown was and how they had everybody in which direction and which rounds. But I mean, super close fight. I could have edged it for Tank. Lamont obviously had great rounds. He was able to wobble Tank a few times. He got wobbled himself one time with a right hook, but I don't know, man.
Rate the performance. Roach won the story.
Roach won the story. He didn't get the win, but he won the story.
You know, in the early rounds, it looked as though Tank was doing what he does and setting up a possible knockout or a probable knockout, which is what most people expected to see. And then over the course of the next several rounds, you saw that maybe the opponent, Lamont Roach, actually got stronger, moving up 5 pounds to 135 pounds. He was able to take Tank shots without ever really being in any serious trouble. That, I think, was unusual and disconcerting for Tank. He got a little desperate in the late rounds and began throwing much more than is normally the case. It created action. It created excitement. There was tension in the audience. It was a memorable fight. And I want to see a rematch as rapidly as a rematch can be made.
Lamont Roach beat Tank. I'm not even, we got to take it one step at a time. Lamont, no matter what, Lamont Roach was robbed of a knockdown. Glad I bought the fight. Damn near had the bubble guts. Yep. With that unofficial knockdown, Tank should have lost. I'm saying they robbed him of the knockdown. They robbed him of the knockdown. And Steve Willis is the best ref in the business. Tank took a knee, got up, and went to the corner and got his face wiped by a towel. Now, maybe Roach is just that good. Okay, I tell you this, he beat Tank. Whatever it is, he beat Tank. Tarver couldn't beat everybody, but he beat Roy. He beat Roy, bro. He couldn't beat Bernard Hopkins. He struggled. He lost to Glenn Johnson. Yeah, but he beat Roy. That's because Tarver knew Roy. Roach knows Tank.
I mean, you gotta understand, can't underestimate the underdog, bro. He's hungry, you know what I mean? They wasn't giving him no credit. They were making us see it was a slouch you could run over. You can't do that in boxing. Anything can happen. You can have a great night, believe that. You gotta believe in your soul, and I think the kid was in there with his soul tonight. It was a good fight, don't get me wrong. And to me, it could have went either way.
Either way.
Could have went either way.
So you okay with a draw?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I mean, a draw is not a loss or a win. For the fighters, it's like...
No. I know you're not okay with the draw, Paul. Let me make sure I clear that up. You're okay with the draw in this fight?
I think they did right.
Yeah.
It could have went either way. They chose a draw, one judge. So I think it's cool. I mean, they want to run it back, they can, but I won't do it. I just keep moving.
So, I mean, that's an interesting statement, but let me ask you this. Do you think in round 9 that was a knockdown, what happened with Tank?
Well, it wasn't a knockdown. He took a knee.
You should have counted technically.
No, you're right, but the ref didn't do it because he said his mouthpiece was in his mouth. Was it the mouthpiece?
Honestly, I don't know. I can't wait to ask them what it was.
I think it was the mouthpiece. I'm thinking. He was saying his mouthpiece.
I think it was his eye. That's what I saw on the camera, but I didn't hear. I wasn't listening to the fight. I was watching live.
Mouthpiece, but the thing is, he took a knee as a count, as basically a legal knockdown.
And if they do?
Yeah, but the ref said no, but the judge could still count it as a knockdown.
Oh.
You're the judge. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
Just because the ref said it wasn't a knockdown, you could still, as a judge, can decide what it was to you. You're a judge. You do what the fuck. Nobody tell you what to do. You do what you want to do.
Should they have counted it as a knockdown?
He took a knee because something was wrong. That he thought it was wrong that he could do that. He probably thought he was still in the amateurs. You know, in the amateur, take a knee.
Yeah.
You know, it's things that you do sometimes. Flashback when you was younger and you think you could still get away with it. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was a good fight. Well, I think it was a great fight, believe it or not, because Roach made it a great fight.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, for sure.
It was a good fight.
What'd you think about the performance? You thought it was a fair decision?
Yeah, definitely, man. I thought they both put it out there. Roach definitely showed up and did his thing. But Gervonta Davis is the champ, and it takes a lot to be able to beat the champ. But Roach definitely had something that we all wasn't expecting. Might have been the power, his combinations as well. He definitely came to fight, man. He got great skills, and it was a great fight overall.
There was a moment where it seemed like he was kind of like bullying the bully. You think that was kind of a part of the tactic?
Yeah, I was surprised too because Roach is a little bigger than I thought. I didn't think he was going to be able to do what he did. But he ended up doing it, man. Congratulations to both fighters for making it happen and stepping up to the plate. And, man, they went toe-to-toe at times, so it was great. It was great.
You think if they do a rematch, it'll be kind of a similar fight, or you think one will be able to make it? I think
it'll be a little different. Similar but a little different. I think there'll be a little bit more aggression next time around, So, I think there's more spots they could have picked early on, but they did. Like I said, Roach might have a power that he was catching them clean. Gervonta looked like them shits was whatever, but he definitely came back to showcase his skills and hot as well as digging some body shots and stuff like that. But man, it was.
Before the match, Teddy Atlas shared his thoughts, suggesting that while Lamont Roach gave his all, he was ultimately outmatched by Devon Davis's superior skill and power. Davis's sharp instincts, precise timing, and ability to dictate the pace of the fight proved to be the deciding factors. Though Roach had some strong moments, he didn't quite have the extra edge in technique or strength necessary to pose a serious threat to Tank.
Tank Davis, what can I tell you? Lamont Roach, I've interviewed him in the past. I got to know him a little bit. He's a great kid. I like the way he's only got one loss. I like the way that he boxes. He's versatile. He could do a lot of things. He could go get you. He's got the attitude of a fighter. He's not a huge puncher. Obviously, Tank Davis is the puncher in this, but Roach could go get you, but he could box.
After a detailed breakdown of the fight, Atlas pointed out that Roach possesses strong fundamentals and a sharp boxing IQ, demonstrating a solid grasp of strategy and technique. Given the threat that Tank Davis presents, Atlas advised that Roach should prioritize movement, utilize angles effectively, and stay disciplined with his counterpunching instead of engaging in toe-to-toe exchanges.
To stay away from trying to go on the inside, which again, He's got the attitude of a real fighter, which you love. And I wouldn't be shocked if Roach said, oh, no, I'm going to go inside sometimes. I don't know that that would be the best choice. He knows how to do it if he wants to. At the end of the day, all of what I said, Bud, it's one thing that really makes the day. It's not because Tank Davis is just undefeated. It's not because Tank Davis is just a great puncher. He's just a full package.
Gervonta Davis stands as one of the most formidable challengers in Lamont Roach's career. However, Roach remains unwavering in his self-confidence, shaped by his past experiences, relentless determination, and a mindset that refuses to settle for anything less than victory.
It was like you have a different confidence than most other people. Where do you feel like that comes from?
That's just how I'm wired, bro. I ain't never backed down from nothing. I damn sure ain't never wanted to come second to anything. So why would it change here?
John Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. have crossed paths before in the amateur ranks, each recalling the bouts in their own way. But now, there are no more debates or excuses. Their rivalry was settled in the ring. Meeting as professionals, Davis and Roach Jr. put their amateur history behind them for a definitive showdown.
Knowing that you guys, fought in the amateurs, you've had sparring sessions, can you use any of those past experiences with Tank going forward into this fight March 1st?
He can't. He lost.
Don't answer my question, bro. What I'm about to say, logically, even though I think I won both of them fights, not really. It was so long ago. We was like 16.
In the tournament twice. I beat him in the state, and then they did something
beat me
like...
in the regionals. They cheated in Baltimore, took a point from me, fool. Come on.
Sean Porter raised an interesting point. Roach's familiarity with Tank could actually pose a threat to Davis. Now that the fight has concluded, Roach leveraged that knowledge to his advantage. Porter believes that Roach's past experiences with Gervonta Davis, from their amateur matchups to sparring sessions, gave him a rare understanding of Tank's fighting style.
Your thoughts of the fight?
I tell you what, the fact that Lamont Roach is as familiar with Tank Davis as he is, it goes beyond them fighting in the amateurs. They've spent time in camp together. He's been around Tank. He's seen Tank up close and personal, whether he's in the ring with them or not. That matters. When you know a guy's rhythm, when you know their speed, when you know what they're thinking, that changes everything,
American professional boxer Sean Porter weighed in on the fight, highlighting the danger of Gervonta Davis's power. He stressed that the moment Davis lands a clean shot, the fight could end in an instant. While Porter acknowledged that Lamont Roach could make it competitive, he believes everything would shift once Roach feels the full force of Tank's punches.
When he get hit, he going to sleep. Just wait for it. This might be a fight until he gets hit. And again, he's tasted that before. So if he gets hit and he doesn't go away, we got a fight on our hands, I think it's a good fight. I think that there's better fights for Tank Davis, but this is a good fight.
Calvin Ford looks back on the long-running rivalry between Dant Davis and Lamont Roach, dating back to their Silver Gloves days, which only added more intensity to their showdown. Despite some criticism, Ford stands by the matchup, calling it a major opportunity for both fighters and the boxing world. He commends Roach for rising to the challenge and assures fans they're in for an electrifying fight.
On each other from the amateurs, Silver Gloves, everything. They grew up actually together, Roach and him, back and forth battles and whatnot. It's going to be a pretty interesting fight, you know what I'm saying? Because Roach he come to fight, and I think it's a great fight. Everybody talking all that stuff about why Roach, because he signed and took the fight, you know what I'm saying? And it's good for the community.
Lamont and Tank have history. What can you tell us about their history and how that's gonna play into the fight come fight night?
They got amateur history. They fought maybe 2 or 3 times. Tank being the winner. They sparred a few times. Tank got the best of the sparring. They just bigger and stronger now, older.
Kenny Ellis broke it all down: the history, the battles, and the deep-seated rivalry between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach. From fierce sparring sessions to intense amateur clashes, these two warriors had met before. But this time, it was different. No headgear, no point system, just high-stakes boxing under the bright lights.
Now, Tank, last 4 or 5 opponents all had film about how they beat him up in sparring. if that's the case, that shit happen. But fight night, we all know the outcome.
Big Tim isn't just confident, he's absolutely convinced. He believes Lamont Roach is more than prepared for this moment and is destined to shock the world on fight night. According to Tim, Roach isn't just proving himself as a fighter, but as a true champion, both in and out of the ring. He promises that Roach's performance won't just meet expectations, it will exceed them in spectacular fashion.
Well, one thing I can say, he's ready, and he will shock the world. I think a lot of people are now starting to realize and know who he is, not just as a person, but as a fighter. And he's a hell of a fighter. He's a great world champion. And he's going to put it on display March 1st. He's going to shock the world. He's going to shock the world.
Big Tim has complete faith in Lamont Roach's abilities, believing that while Devon Davis poses a formidable challenge, Roach has what it takes to prevail. He sees Roach as a disciplined and determined fighter, fully prepared to seize the moment. According to Tim, Roach's skill, mentality, and rigorous preparation will be the key factors that secure his victory, leaving Davis on the losing end when the final bell sounds.
Absolutely, absolutely. And he's so focused and ready. He's to the point where I don't care who you put in there with him. Excuse my French. You're going to take an ass whooping, so he's ready. He's ready.
Was there a moment in one of the sparring sessions where you kind of wanted to look at the other side and be like, yo, just get this fighter out, get him out?
No, that's what you signed up for, so it depends. You know, Tank don't want to submit, lay down, we're going to put him down. But overall, he's going to get ass.
Gervonta Davis delivered on his promise, pure domination. Despite discussions about Roach's crafty skill set and potential tactical advantages, Tank took control, proving once again that his power operates on an entirely different level. From the opening bell, Davis set the tempo, unleashing relentless shots that gradually broke Roach down. While Lamont Roach's team continues to emphasize his size, strength, and strategy, not everyone is convinced he poses a serious threat to Devon Davis. Coach Bullet didn't mince words, he made his stance crystal clear, leaving no doubt about where he stands on this matchup.
Doesn't have a chance. Tank is a very experienced, high IQ. You know, the only person that could have beat Tank was Roddy. I keep telling people that. Nobody's going to beat him because they don't bring nothing to the table to make him scared, to puzzle him, to make him, panic or open his eyes like a deer in headlights.
Coach Bullet believes this fight isn't just about skill, it's about applying real pressure. In his eyes, Roach doesn't bring the kind of threat that would push Tank to another level. But that's where the danger lies when fighters don't feel truly tested. Complacency can creep in. Bullet acknowledges that risk, yet even with that possibility, he remains certain that Tank is the one fully in control of this fight.
This fight with Roach, I mean, it's Tank selling the fight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody saying, hey, but it's boxing. I'm gonna give you 1,000. If Tank could get himself up to really fight this kid properly, he could really hurt him bad. But sometimes a good fighter, it's hard for him to get up for certain fights. And that's what I see in boxing a lot of time for many years. So I'm glad Roach is talking some mess to him, so maybe he'll put a little fire in him so we can see a good fight.
Following the fight, promoter Eddie Hearn shared his thoughts on the matchup, stating that while it was a solid contest, Roach was simply too small to compete with Tank. He noted that the fight didn't generate much excitement, largely because Roach lacked widespread name recognition. Hearn remarked that Eddie Hearn weighed in on the fight, acknowledging that while true boxing fans could appreciate the matchup, the size difference was undeniable. Roach is a super featherweight, he's much smaller than Tank, Hearn stated. It wasn't a bad fight, but it didn't sit well with fans because, honestly, no one really knows who Lamont Roach is. But realistically, what other options did Tank have? As for the debate on whether Roach had a real shot against Gervonta "Tank" Davis, Gary Russell initially played it safe, stating that anyone who steps into the ring has a chance. However, when pressed for a real opinion, he didn't sugarcoat it. If both fighters were at their best, Roach's chances were slim. Still, Russell didn't completely dismiss the possibility of an upset, reminding everyone that boxing is anything but predictable.
Does Lamont Roach have a chance to win this fight?
I think anybody that steps in the ring has a chance at winning the fight. I'm not gonna say that he doesn't have a chance at winning.
No, you just told me a second ago. Stop it. Ain't no perception. Give it to me straight, Gary. Can Lamont win this fight?
I'm gonna give it to you straight.
All right.
I think we can get there. Tank can get injured or get hurt the day before, and something could occur. And if Lamont shows up, he can possibly win the fight.
Gary Russell didn't hold back when evaluating Lamont Roach's chances against Tank Davis. While he acknowledged that the fight could be competitive in the early rounds, he was confident that as the bout progressed, Tank's power and skill would take over. Russell was direct in his prediction. No, I don't think Lamont's going to win. It might be interesting in the first half, but as the fight goes on, Tank is going to take control. Russell made it clear he doesn't see Roach pulling off an upset. While the opening rounds may be close, he expects Tank to dominate as the fight wears on, turning the later rounds into a one-sided showcase of his power and precision. Meanwhile, Gervonta Tank Davis had nothing but praise for Roach, calling him a great fighter, likely a nod to his skill, work ethic, and determination. Roach certainly has the tools to make things difficult for Tank, especially early on. His reach, solid fundamentals, and disciplined boxing IQ could force Tank to be more patient and methodical. But when the dust settles, this was more than just a fight, it was a battle for supremacy. Did Tank once again prove why he's one of the most feared fighters in the sport? Or did Roach shock the world with his relentless speed and power? One thing is certain, this fight will be talked about for years to come. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more boxing updates.